Hello everybody, welcome back to Planet X News, August 25th, 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, I was taking a look at some of the SDO footage, but I was actually using a different website. And the website is called Iris. Basically it's a spectrograph. And we're able to look at some of the views of the sun through the SDO, the Solar Dynamics Observatory, as you see on your screen now. And what I was viewing was some data that was coming from yesterday, August 24th, moving into today. And once again, if you look down here in the lower left-hand corner, you can see an object, a very round, circular object, which is coming around the sun. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit here, so it doesn't completely pixelize or blur. And the reason why I use this spectrograph is because I get much clearer, higher resolution than we do on the Solar Dynamics Observatory website. And you would figure that we would be able to get much more clearer resolutions on the SDO. But folks, over the course of the last couple of years, all of the discoveries that we've made from the SDO and the LASCO SOHO coronagraphs, we are just letting the space agencies know the tools that we're using. And to be honest with you, I think that they are purposely lowering the resolution, and it seems possibly also that they may be cleaning up some of these views of the sun on a daily basis. So we're looking at this object right here, and I'm going to go ahead and just go back one day. Excuse me. The information will come up, and we're going to go ahead and view it. Okay, and as you can see, this was yesterday, and the object is faintly back there. Let's go back one more day. Let's go back to the 23rd. And you can see the object is not clearly in view. So 1, 2 days. Let's go back to today. Okay, well, here it is. Folks, I've had some people say, oh, you're just looking at a space bubble. Well, how do you define a space bubble? Do you define it as a solar prominence? It's possible, but if you know what a solar prominence is, and you compare it to any of these photographs, you'll clearly see that the definition of this object is not a solar prominence in any way, shape, or form. This is an object that is rotating and orbiting around our sun. And we've gone over this many, many times. We've discussed this matter each and every time Planet X News makes a discovery. And ladies and gentlemen, if you just take a look at what's been happening to our planet over the course of the last couple of years, earthquakes, volcanoes, wild weather, chaos around the planet. Now let's go back 10 years from now. Did we have any of these occurrences happening with such magnitude? The answer to that is no, we did not. Let's go back 20 years. Let's go back 30. Let's go back 40 or 50 years. Was all of this happening then? No, it was not. Over the course of the last couple of weeks, Dr. Albers and I, we have been researching and looking into hypervelocity stars and hypervelocity planets. And you ask yourself, okay, Scott, what is a hypervelocity star? Well, a hypervelocity star is a star that, let's say, for instance, is very, very close to the center of our galaxy. And scientists and astronomers claim that the center of our galaxy holds a massive, massive cluster of stars of all different sizes. The majority of these stars are binary systems, meaning they are rotating around each other. The closer that they get to the center of the galaxy, eventually one of those stars is flung out from the center of the galaxy in whatever direction it was pointing at the time of ejection. These hypervelocity stars and planets can travel through the galaxy for millions of years at speeds that are just absolutely unfathomable. What are the chances that our solar system, our sun, encounters one of these objects throughout time? Is it possible? Of course, ladies and gentlemen, it is definitely possible. There are many, many possibilities when dealing with our galaxy. Our galaxy is massive, and it's really hard to even understand how big our galaxy really is. And what does our galaxy hold? That's another amazing question. So, if you yourself sit there and question that nothing else can come into our solar system besides comets and meteors, asteroids, space junk as I call it, it does make its way through our solar system. But over the course of the last couple of years, we've seen a pretty big uptick in these near-Earth objects and comets and meteors. So something has disturbed the asteroid belt. And if you had a rogue planet, a hypervelocity planet that was once orbiting one of these very close binary star systems, and it was flung out of the center of the galaxy at hypervelocity speed, going in one direction, and that direction can be just out there to infinity until it comes in contact with a star like ours, or even another star unrelated to our solar system. The gravitational force, the magnetic fields of these stars, they're just absolutely intense. Once again, something that we really just can't put our finger on and understand how powerful these objects are. There's a lot that we do not know about our own solar system, the planets in our solar system, and there is so much that we don't know about our own galaxy. So whenever we find objects like this in close proximity to our sun, yes, we have to question, what are they doing there? How did they get there? When did they get there? And over the course of the last 10 years, ladies and gentlemen, if you just take a look at the data, you can clearly see that as these objects, and as Dr. Albers has stated many times, our theories are that there is definitely more than one of these stellar core type objects. Some people can relate them to a brown dwarf star. And if you classify a brown dwarf star, well, it's kind of hard, because a brown dwarf within the astronomy and astrophysics and science community, I mean, it's kind of a cross between a planet and a star. Very, very hard to define. But these are very tough objects, and they go through massive changes from being very, very cold as they travel through deep space. But then, if they are attracted and pulled in by a host star, such as our sun, then this object will move closer and closer and closer until our sun captures it. At that point in time, this ice-cold object now becomes superheated. And ladies and gentlemen, the more and more that I learn and the more and more that I research, I find that having this type of knowledge helps you understand that yes, all of these things are possible. And there are people out there that do not want you to understand what is happening. So these objects have a very, very fast rotational period. Some of them, within the hypervelocity speed, can spin thousands and thousands of miles per hour, if not tens of thousands of miles per hour, therefore generating a magnetic field around itself that is absolutely intense, very powerful. Then coming in contact with a star like ours that also has a massive magnetic field. So now you're combining two energies. And yes, things are going to happen. As of lately, our sun has been kind of going to sleep. Some people say that it has everything to do with the solar minimum, which will last approximately 11 years. That is possible. Science has delved into that for a very, very long time. Are we at a critical stage in the sun's activity and this object continuing to drain our sun? The less activity on our sun, the less protection that our magnetosphere, our magnetopause, protects the Earth. So if that energy is decreasing, but yet we have more of this cosmic radiation coming from that object that you're viewing on your screen along with the sun, then our shield, our magnetopause, is being affected. It's not protecting the Earth like it should, because it cannot. So therefore, more of this energy impacts the Earth. I've discussed this over the years. Dr. Albers has discussed this over the years. This cosmic energy is what I will just call it for now, impacts the Earth. It penetrates all the way through to the center, to the core of the Earth, therefore heating up that core. You know, I explained the other day to an individual that I was talking to, and this is how I'm going to put it. Let's say, for instance, you blow up a balloon and you dip that balloon in hot wax to put a coating, almost like a candy coating, over the balloon, and you let it dry and harden. And then you increase the pressure inside of that balloon. Well, what do you think is going to happen to that outer shell? That outer shell is going to expand and it's going to crack. Now, we all know that the Earth is formed by these tectonic plates. We've seen over the course of the last couple of years this massive increase in earthquake activity. Now, we're seeing even more of it over the course of the last 2 weeks. How many earthquakes have we had? We've had a lot of them. And they're not going to stop, ladies and gentlemen. Sooner or later, the Earth is going to be in the wrong place at the wrong time during one of these impacts, and it's going to let loose And it's not going to be a pretty scene. It's going to be a massive amount of destruction. If any of you remember, over the course of the last year, I've stated many times, many times, excuse me, that our direct threat is not from this Planet X object, this stellar core object. Our direct threat will come from the sun. And it is coming from the sun, even though the sun seems to be quite quiet. No massive coronal mass ejections. Not a lot of solar flaring. Yes, we are seeing a lot of the coronal holes once again, Earth facing, and that does affect the Earth. But the issue is, these solar streams, this solar wind, has slowed down. Very, very slow. Now, a few days ago, we did see a massive increase in the solar wind. And that impacted the Earth. And we had a magnitude 8.2 earthquake go off. And then days later, what are we looking at? More magnitude 6s, more magnitude 7s. What was very alarming was the earthquake that was right off of the Oregon coastline, right near the Juan de Fuca fault line, Cascadia. Ladies and gentlemen, if that continues to happen, eventually the reverberations are going to travel straight down the San Andreas Fault. And then we are going to have a major catastrophe in the Los Angeles and San Diego areas, Southern California. A magnitude 7.8 will devastate those areas. We're talking billions of dollars in destruction. Massive loss of life. So we must continue to investigate and research and spread the word about what is happening. Remember my saying, knowledge is power. At least you have the general understanding of what is exactly happening and why. That is my main goal. That has always been my main goal, is to expose what is happening, to allow people to understand, truly understand, what is happening in the world that you live on, the planet in this solar system that is in this galaxy, in this universe. The magnitude of that is just, if you just sit down and think about it, it's incredible. And the times that we are living in now are absolutely incredible, but very dangerous. I don't want to sit here and sound like some fearmonger, but if you clearly take a look at what is happening to our planet, you'll fully understand. And if you start doing a little bit of research, and you start literally getting deep into this information, reading, understanding, and learning, then you will see why this is happening. We have huge problems in the North Pole, in the Arctic, with the ice melt. Why is it melting? It's screwing up our entire jet stream. The jet stream in the northern hemisphere is completely in disarray. It's not even one complete mechanism because it's completely broken up. Some of the information that I was going over the other day is looking, well, for some of us in the snow regions during the winter time, from what I've been seeing, we may be looking at a pretty warm but wet winter throughout most of the east coast of the United States. Just like in 2017, the day after Christmas on the East Coast, it was 62 degrees. Amazing. If you think back in time, when do you remember waking up the day after Christmas and going outside and the temperatures were above freezing, let alone above 60 degrees? So I believe that that's what we're going to be looking at this upcoming winter. We may have, once again, an extended summer all the way into the end of November, possibly even December. So we will just literally have to wait and see. Now, I was taking a look at some other information, and I'm going to show you some more detailed pictures of this object. But let's just go over here real quick, and I pre-recorded some of this so we can take a look at it. Let's go ahead and pull this up. And this is our magnetosphere, our magnetopause, and some of this radiation that is coming in. And it's hot, folks. It's really hot. And this is all up-to-date information. I pre-recorded this about an hour ago, and this is our magnetosphere up here. You see this orange color up here, and you can identify it by the color chart over here. You can see the intensity. This is our bow shock right here. This is what's protecting our planet. You see how thick this band is on the bow shock? Deep, deep red. You see all of the field lines here, these black-looking spaghetti lines. They should be in a steady stream, very close together behind our planet. You have the daytime side here, identified in white, and the nighttime side identified in black. So you can see these magnetic field lines, they're reaching. So we are being impacted as we speak right now. Now, usually when I see situations like this, you can guarantee within 24 to 48 hours, maybe even 72 hours, another one of these bigger earthquakes is going to crack off. Because all of this solar energy, all of this additional cosmic radiation is impacting our planet. It is heating the core up. It is going to cause additional earthquakes. The Earth is already fragile as it is. So probably within the next couple of days, if not maybe today, we may see another larger magnitude 6 or 7 earthquake. Let's just hope and pray that it doesn't produce a massive amount of destruction and loss of life. As I was saying earlier, this is the solar wind speed. If you take a look at this solar wind speed where my cursor is right here, you can see how low it is. Even though the intensity is greater, the speed is lower. And that's something that I've been worrying about, because normally when we see the influx of this energy, where the energy is greater as it impacts the Earth, it's usually coming at us much faster, well over 1 million miles per hour, sometimes 2 million miles per hour. And it impacts the Earth and it goes away, but that impact lasts for days and days internally within our planet. But these speeds have been very low almost this entire year. Yes, we have seen some influxes from time to time and some increases in these speeds. But these lower speeds I'm kind of worried about. It just seems that it has more time to encompass the entire Earth slowly. Now, let's just say this. If you light a fire and run your hand across the flame very, very quickly, you'll feel a little bit of the heat, but not much. But if you slowly move your hand across that flame, what's going to happen? You're going to get burned, and you're going to feel more of that heat, more of the intensity. I think that's what's possibly happening to our planet. This solar wind is decreasing, and the impacts to the Earth are longer. So that's something very, very critical that we're just going to have to keep an eye on. We don't have any control of it. We don't have no way of stopping it. People have asked me about CERN this and CERN that. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot that we don't know about CERN, but I don't think CERN is able to stop any of this. We're just talking about things that are just entirely too big for man to stop any of this energy coming from the sun and other stellar objects that have invaded our sun. Looking over here, this is showing you at 50 Kelvin the amount of electrons that are coming in to the planet. Again, all of this information's up to date. The dotted line that you see here is referred to as the satellite belt, and that's usually where satellites are positioned to circle the Earth. And you can see, you're going to see an actual compression of the bow shock, our magnetopause. But what alarms me is this amount of radiation, this amount of heat coming in. And you can see, currently, this is happening. This is happening right now as we speak. And it's heating up. Look at it. I mean, it is what it is. And it's coming in slowly. So again, the slower this comes in, the more impact it's going to have on our planet. Looking down below here, we're taking a look at the magnetopause. And again, this arch that we see here, this is what we call our bow shock. And this is just an imaginary line here. This is the way the computers and the sensors pick this information up. But you can see these compressions. And something that we see every now and then is this extended bow shock. But you can see it's lit up. And then right in front of the Earth, you see the red, you see the intensity. And as this energy hits the front of the bow shock, and right now our magnetosphere is weak. It's weakening because of the weakening of the sun. And this energy will literally wrap around the backside of the Earth, and you will see the intensity appear right here. You're already seeing parts of it. And that will impact closely to the dark side of our planet. So, it is what it is. We just have to stay up on all of the information and continue to share it. And we can share it to the people and for the people that want to listen, that actually want to wake up and understand what's happening to our planet. And ladies and gentlemen, I think as we move closer and closer to the end of this year, I think that some precautionary measures, some preparation will be in order. Having enough food supplies, having enough filtered water or a way to filter water. Dr. Albers and I, over a year ago now, we purchased one of the Berkey water filtration systems. You can take it with you. You don't have to hook it up to any pipes or anything of that nature. And we can filter 1.5 gallons or up to 2 gallons of water instantaneously. Literally take water out of a river, and it filters out all of the impurities. And we have the additional filter that removes arsenic and heavy metals, and sits right on the countertop. And as we use the filtered water, we fill it back up, and we constantly have a flow of water. Okay, so that's something that all of you may want to invest in the very, very near future. But at least having some type of preparation, a pretty good flashlight, a lot of batteries, at least you'll have some form of light in an emergency. And ladies and gentlemen, I can't stress enough, but a way of protecting yourself. Because the bottom line is, if we ever do go through a massive catastrophe, and there are people out there that are crazy and nuts, and they get hungry, they get thirsty, they need supplies, they're going to be coming and they're going to be looking for you. And you need to have a way to protect yourself, your property, but first and foremost, your family. So it is what it is. Have a form of protection. And that's all I'm going to say about that subject. So you can see all of the intensity that is impacting our planet as I'm making this video. I keep track of all of this each and every day, multiple times per day. And if you just pay attention to the intensity that is hitting the Earth, then you can start to look for additional earthquake activity, and eventually we're going to have more of these volcanoes popping off. So again, this is something that all of us should be paying attention to on a daily basis. If you follow me on Planet X News on Facebook and my public figure page, I'm always listing this information. It's very, very hard to put it up on, put it up on YouTube, and YouTube does nothing but censor Dr. Albers and I, and they're doing it to many, many other people. We just went through a bout of Facebook pulling this crap on us yesterday. Every single post that you put up, they were labeling it as spam. Then they send you an email and say, oh, we apologize, we'll reinstate your post, but it never comes back up. They did it to me yesterday 30 times. 30 times. Now, Planet X News is now going to be directly affiliated with the MFA Media Group. And I'm going to be joining them. I've actually already joined them, but, I'm going to be at the helm, and I'm going to be supplying news reports and video reports for the MFA Media Group. We're working on a new fantastic website where we are going to have the ability to have our own YouTube platform in our website, which means no censoring. No censoring. We are about 2 weeks away from kicking this off. The new media website is going to host all kinds of news. Very little political news because, let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, politics is nothing more than a farce on this planet. These politicians and these people that run these governments, they are absolutely insane. I think the majority of them are probably mentally ill in some way. But, we will have a little bit of politics that we will discuss. I think the majority of it is nothing more than a joke. I think what is more important is what is happening to our planet, where we live. So look forward to this new website platform. It is really, really going to be nice. It's going to be easy to move around the website. It's not going to be cluttered with a bunch of crap. And having our own video platform on our website, which will allow us to do live streaming, and we will not be censored. We will not be filtered. And in the very near future, we're going to be doing some public speaking engagements. And, folks, there are bills to pay. We are going to be live streaming these on a pay-per-view basis. They're not going to be that expensive. I mean, let's face it, you've all paid for a pay-per-view event before. But the cost of this type of technology is not cheap. It's rather expensive. And Vimeo has worked on this platform for us. It's fully functional now. I've been testing it out, been uploading some videos to it. It's not live yet, but once the website goes up, it will be live. And you will have an ultimate source to come to and sit there at your own time and your own leisure and view the videos without being harassed by little scumbag trolls in the comment section of a YouTube video. And the same applies for Facebook. So we're not going to stand for any more of this bullshit censoring and filtering that social media companies are doing. It's ridiculous. But I want to go ahead, I want to get back to some of these pictures, but there's also something else I want to show you real quick. And this is the solar wind model. This is the predictive model, actually. And this is going back a few days. And what you're going to watch once this goes back to the very beginning and the loop continues, you're going to see the sun right here, and you're going to see this energy split right past the Earth. Okay, and that was just the 23rd. That goes back, it's not on the screen here, but that can go back the 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd. And during those periods, folks, we had a lot of these earthquakes popping off left and right. And you can see it impacted the Earth. It split. One side of the energy went this way, one side of the energy went this way. And then now, if you watch the calendar dates right below here, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, all the way to the 30th, you can clearly see here comes another wave of energy moving slowly, an impact around the 29th through the 30th and the 31st. So, sometime going into the first week of September, we may be looking at more catastrophic earthquakes. We're just going to have to keep our eye on what's happening. And the more and more people that get involved, the better. Now, I'm going to go ahead and shift over here. We're going to take a look at these actual photographs here. And this is what we just viewed in the very beginning of this video, coming from IRAS, and we're going to go ahead and zoom in here. Okay, so, I mean, if you actually think that's some kind of a space bubble, you must be completely nuts. You must be completely blind. Clean off your glasses and just take a look at it. Now, I went ahead and took some other views. This is another view of it, a little bit more clear. I mean, let's be realistic here. I mean, you can see a perfectly spherical object right here. It's well within the sun's corona, very, very, very close to the sun. And people say, well, oh, Scott, how come it doesn't burn up? And how is it able to get so close to the sun? Well, folks, again, if you increase your knowledge and you start to educate yourself on these subject matters, binary star systems can be so close to each other that they can almost touch each other. These objects are very, very complex. Yes, they do have the ability to get very, very close to a star like ours. So it's not that big of a deal for it to come in this close to the sun. The sun is now its host. Will we ever see it disappear in our lifetime, ladies and gentlemen? I don't think so. I doubt it. Could it be flung out of our solar system? Possibly. But I think the sun has a hold on it, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And the connections, the plasma connections that these objects are making with the sun, it's just like drawing more electricity from your outlet. Or like, for instance, if you have your lights start to dim because of more energy being pulled, and that light starts to flicker and starts to dim. It's the same kind of philosophy. So our sun is weakening because of this object. Now this is just inverted. So, it's not super, super duper clear, but I just wanted to show you again. You can faintly see it. It is right there. So, what do you think? Do you think that this perfectly spherical anomaly is just going to show up on this day? I don't think so. And again, this is just another filter change. So let's zoom in. This is a little more clear. So does that look like some type of, quote, space bubble? I don't think so. You can actually see some things on the surface. And people keep talking about debris trails and things of that nature. Well, folks, I do believe, and Dr. Albers believes also, that as these objects rotate around the sun, and these objects themselves have a very, very fast rotational speed, I would say that debris probably does fling off of them quite frequently. Are we able to see it from Earth? I don't think so, but some of these pieces in this debris may be large enough, and if Earth is in the wrong place at the wrong time, we may see a piece of this debris fly by in the form of a near-Earth object and meteors. Okay, we've been seeing an increase in meteors in the skies since, towards the end of 2015 going into 2016. So, the data is there. There's no saying that, oh, that's not happening. Oh, you're lying. No, the data's there. And so are the observations of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people around the world photographing it, uploading it to social media, doing their own videos, showing you what they've captured. And we all saw what happened back in 2013 in Russia when the Chelyabinsk object came screaming out of the sky. And NASA said, "Oh, I'm sorry, but we missed it because it came from the direction of the sun. That's why we didn't see it. We didn't see it in time." Makes you think. How good is our technology? How good is our detection system? Well, obviously, it's not that damn good if we did not detect that object until it was breaking through the Earth's atmosphere and then exploding over that Russian city, devastating buildings and injuring, I think, about 1,500 people from flying glass and debris as that sonic boom occurred when that object exploded up above. Thank God it did not impact the ground. But the devastation from the explosion up above was pretty bad. Now just imagine an object like that exploding over New York City or Los Angeles, California, or San Francisco, or Seattle, or, a city in Texas, or over your little small town that you live in. So, ladies and gentlemen, the risk factor is now getting higher each and every day that goes by. And if you're not prepared, you don't have that knowledge or that understanding, you're going to be standing there with your mouth hanging open and saying, WTF, what the hell just happened? Why did it happen? Don't you want to have the answers? Learn. Stick with Planet X News. You'll be able to follow us with the new MFA Media Group. And we're going to have hundreds of thousands of people involved with our organization. It is going to eventually be a worldwide organization. I'm going to try very hard to bring on other people within the truth community. Give them a platform where they can upload their videos and not have any fear about being censored. They'll have that opportunity. We are going to continue to move forward to expose the truth. What they're doing to our planet. What's happening out there in our solar system. We'll be getting into more of the chemtrailing, because we are now seeing again more and more and more and more of it. I woke up a few hours ago and I went to my YouTube channel only to see a message from YouTube that a recent video that I did last week based on a movie called The Domestics. And in the beginning of the movie, they show these big, gigantic military planes spraying black chemtrails over the people and killing them instantly. The movie was pretty weird. It just came out in late June of this year. Ladies and gentlemen, YouTube sent me a notification. They banned that video of mine worldwide. No explanation, ladies and gentlemen. They just banned my video worldwide. But why? Why? I'll tell you why. Because what I was showing people was the truth. We know all about these Hollywood movies. Predictive programming. And that's what I was saying within my video. And I was showing you what was happening, what could happen, what may possibly happen. I think it took about a week for maybe that video to actually get out there. And then the wrong person saw it. And they were like, we better ban this video worldwide. We can't let everybody see this video. So yes, they banned that video worldwide. They didn't remove it. They didn't delete it. They didn't do anything other than ban the video worldwide. So people can't see it. But what I am going to do is I'm going to upload that video to my personal Planet X News website. And then I'll post the link on social media, on Facebook. And let's see if they ban it. Or they label it as spam. So I was sharing articles that I was writing yesterday on my website and sharing those on my personal Facebook page, my Planet X News Facebook page, and my public figure page. And within about 3 seconds, they were labeling it as spam. So I labeled it the big Facebook spam scam. And I'm not the only one that they were doing that to. They were doing that to people around the world. Social media should be a tool, but it's like the devil. They don't want us sharing information, using their platforms to expose the truth. So that is another main reason why the MFA Media Group will be powerful. It will be a force to reckon with. You will have somewhere to go to gain this information instantaneously, and we're going to have people writing for our website from around the world, submitting information from around the world. You're going to have a voice. We'll provide you with that voice. We're going to also get more and more people involved with this organization. We're also going to use this organization to help other individuals in the case of any type of catastrophe. We want to be able to generate revenue in order to participate in helping people. You know, for instance, last year, whenever there were situations in Puerto Rico and the islands and the state of Florida and the devastation that occurred throughout the Houston area, we found that, supplies weren't getting into these areas as fast as they could have. Food, water, supplies. It just took so long. FEMA, I don't even want to mention their name. The American Red Cross, all of them, all tied in together. They were barely doing their part. But we're going to change that. We're going to change that, and we're going to create this unity amongst human beings, brother and sister. Remember those two small words that I always mention. 2 letters, 2 words, us and we. Together, those 2 little words form unity. And that's something else that the powers that be do not want. Now, they do not want unity amongst man. They want to see division. And they're doing a damn good job of it over in Europe. And I feel very, very bad for all of our European brothers and sisters. You know, their countries are going through a living hell. People are trying to expose it, but they're also risking their life. It's all becoming one big, massive tragedy. So we know what is out there lurking around our sun. We know the damage that it's doing. And it's relaying that damage to the planet that we live on. And sooner or later, folks, as that old saying goes, the shit's going to hit the fan. Some of us are not going to be prepared. Some of us will. Will you be safer underground? Will you be safer above? Eventually, we're going to find out. But I'm not too sure if I want to be underground during massive earthquakes, depending on where those underground places are. But you definitely have to be prepared. And you definitely need to have some form of protection. You decide what that form of protection will be. But I'd have many different levels of it. We're going to keep on track of what's happening with our weather. And we're going to keep on seeing strange weather around the world. We're going to keep on seeing these massive downpours of rain that have just devastated a lot of areas. That's going to continue. That is not going to stop. It is actually going to get worse. So again, prepare. Keep your eyes and your ears open to information sources that you trust. Be very careful following tabloid journalism and mainstream media. That is another reason why the new MFA media group is being resurrected. So we have that platform. So we have that informational news source that you can trust and that you can come to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, until they shut off that internet switch. And ladies and gentlemen, the day that that happens is the day that you better run for cover. This is Scott from Planet X News, MFA Media Group. Thank you for watching, and be safe. God bless.